What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
I'm back. What's up? What's up?
What's going on? You show up and then the other two leave. So it's just me and Shannon for this week. Unfortunately, Chris and Daniel could not make it, but we have some really good topics to discuss, as well as definitely tune in for all of the shenanigans on Friday's episode. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask CISSP. I won't have one for this week, but I will have one for next week. I have an interview with Lynn Dom from WeSys already in the can. I just have to finish editing it. And then, of course, like I said, Fridays are everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article actually comes from yahoo.com by way of CNN. So they do that every once in a while with Yahoo. They'll reference other articles, but it's written by Sean Lingast. And the title of this one is FBI seizes websites that North Koreans allegedly use to impersonate American companies. So we actually went through this not too long ago. We were talking about this, about the North Koreans that were impersonating people to get into these companies, get legitimate jobs for these companies. Because, you know, remote work is all the rage now. Everybody wants it. You know what I'm saying? Am I right, Ryan? Right?
I can't go back. You had to take it from my cold, dead hands.
No, it was one of those things where North Korea was profiting from this. But the websites that they were using, there was 4 websites that were being used that were identified by cybersecurity firm SentinelOne, and they were North Korean fronts, and they've all been seized. So now when you go to the sites in North Korean and English, they say, hey, you've been seized. We're taking you down. No more of this. We ain't playing this game with y'all no more, right? Like it's coming to an end. But this was an interesting article because something that I read in here that kind of piqued my interest was that these scams they've been doing with this, like when it comes to this type of thing where they were impersonating the workers and cryptocurrency theft, were actually funding half of their missile program in North Korea. Now, despite what you may believe about North Korea and how they may not be up to snuff when it comes to their missiles that just fall into the ocean sometimes, that's a lot of money. Like they're making a lot of money worldwide doing that, especially with the cryptocurrency thing, right? Because that's gone up like gangbusters in the last 8 years, I want to say, for sure, 8 years. But it's been funding a lot of their missile programs. So for it to take a hit like that is a good thing, right? Because it keeps North Korea from making money that way. Now, mind you, they might have some allies, right? Your Chinas and your Russias that may help them out a little bit more. But the fact that this got shut down like this, like I'm not mad, you know what I mean? But yeah, the front companies, like they were very good fronts because they were closely mimicking, you know, legitimate sites, right? It's one of those things where you have to be careful what you're looking at and paying attention to what you're looking at to see those different things, right? You got to make sure you're not on Microsoft.com or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not Microsoft, you know what I mean? Like things like that. They'll just do things to make them look very good. And they're getting better and better at it, right? Like there's tools out there to make it better, to include AI. So a better job of like the grammar. Like the grammar used to be a big telltale sign when it came to looking for things. Like that's not even proper English. I know a big corporation like this would not make such a mistake like that, right? But it's becoming easier and easier to do this, right? It's one of those things that it's going to come up in one of our later articles as well, talking about how AI is making it so much easier for people to recruit even, right? But yeah, this was one of those things where I'm glad to see it happen, but you got to stay on top of it, right? Because for these 4 that fall, it's like Hydra, right? Where one may fall, 2 will take its place. That's the way that these things go. But Ryan, what's your thought?
Yeah, I'm glad that they're starting to crack down, and you know we'll talk about like it's kind of foreshadowing to another topic that's coming up in Tuesday's episode, right? What kind of baffles me is the checks and balances. So like when you are hired onto one of these companies, like there's a lot of verifying the W-2s and you have to submit passports and like there's a lot of HR that goes into the hiring process. So is it a lax within HR or are they just that good where they're able to fake socials and passport numbers and things of that nature as well when they go to verify, W-4 is what you have to do when you initially get hired on? And I-9.
W-4 and I-9, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that is supposed to verify that you're a real person and keep the company out of trouble, right? When it comes to tax, things of that nature. But no, North Korea is able to circumvent it and get around it, apparently. So if they, like you said, if they took down 4 websites, there's probably another 40 out there. But it's better than doing nothing. So it's a good start, and hopefully this does deter their kind of siphoning of American dollars and cryptocurrency to work on the weapons program and things of that nature. So it's just not feeding the stray cat at this point.
So my hope is that the amount of money that's been put into from I'll say this from the American administrations, right? I hope the amount of money that's been put into this is something that just keeps going forward, right? Because like to put effort into this costs money, right? As much as we say to ourselves, okay, we have these organizations out here that do these things, the Department of Justice, your FBI, because we've seen, especially during this current administration, the last 4 years, a lot of international like task forces and things that go out and do these types of things. Like that is what is really needed because it is getting easier for them to accomplish these different types of scams out there. Like the money just needs to be put into it, and I'm hoping going forward it is something that we still do, but only time will tell.
Right. We'll find out in January. But so that again, I maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I think that is the status quo that will continue to flow. There'll be a lot of changes coming up. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think when it comes to cybersecurity and our current investment and just the path moving forward, I believe there won't be that much disruption. But again, time will tell. I think Jen Easterly already put her notice in. So, because every administration, they're going to hire somebody else, right? That's just the way it is. They rarely keep the incumbent. So,
Well, I think it's standard though. So I think it's one of those things that's standard that they always offer their resignation, and it's up to the incoming administration to say, no, we want to keep you on. We don't accept.
okay,
So I think it's standard that everybody, when the administration changes, submits it and goes from there.
okay.
Right.
So
So,
that does make sense.
but here's the thing though. Even though Jim Easterly has done a very good job, like these last few years, it's one of those things where it's just going to be seen as government waste though. Is the amount of money that needs to go into this, it's just going to be one of those things that's government waste that they think they need to get rid of. I hope not. Right. Because like you
Right.
can see the writing on the wall and you can see how it has long reaching effects, the second and third order effects in this. I hope it's not seen as government waste, but you don't know, right? Like there's a new, I don't want to call it a division. There's a new department being stood up for just,
On Doge,
government efficiency. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Department of Government Efficiency.
government
So,
efficiency. So
and I think in this regard, I think it'll be apples and oranges because we all know that Elon hates remote work when it's like it's just not his thing. So I don't think it'll be necessarily a cut to this. It'll be a cut to remote work. He's gonna return a lot of people to office if possible, which sucks. Like I'd be very upset if that were to happen. Not to get too, because I don't think that's politics. I think that's just work. Like no, I don't want to return to office. Count me out. But I think he's so anti that because he believes it to be fraud, waste, and abuse from his perspective, right? I think that may work its way into other systems.
and that's definitely something in the government they look out for, right? The FWA. We take that training all those years, right? Like when we were in the military, it's like, fraud, waste, and abuse, how to identify it, what to do with it. So it's already in their wheelhouse to be like, yep, cut that.
Right. Yeah. Because I worked for IG as part of my last assignment in the military, so we did a lot of that. So when you think IG Inspector General, you think a lot of wrongful termination. You think of trying to remember what we called it. It's retaliation, but I forget it's called something else. And then fraud, waste, and abuse. Right. So yeah, it's already baked in, but we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. But definitely
Retribution, what you know?
it's not retribution. It's not retaliation. It's reprisal. There it is.
Yeah,
That's the
there
term
you
we
go.
use,
Yeah.
reprisal. But yeah, so we'll see what they decide to do with a lot of our current initiatives when it comes to cracking down on these would-be impersonators and bad actors on the internet. Continue to tune in. Hit us up by all the websites that go by our name. You can hit me up on all the social medias. You can hit up the website on the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or ask a CISSP. You can find me at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy, pretty much on all the platforms. But my bread and butter is LinkedIn. So I will definitely respond to you there. Yeah, stay safe, stay secure.